three items on bylaws. I'll just double check whether Joe Knight's on the line and waiting to hear item number 13 or John Gillen. If they are, we might move to that item first, but they may have gone off, anticipating it will be a while. I can't hear from either of them, so I think we'll just keep to the agenda then. Item number 10 on the agenda is a decision on the proposed new public trading events and filming bylaw. And I'm going to get, first of all, acknowledge Paul Wilson, Magda Findlick and Sam Bunge as the advisors that are available. But I'm going to ask Linda Cooper to introduce it as the chairperson of the hearings panel. Linda, I might get you to move this item if you're happy with that, and maybe I'm just having a look at item number
maybe
10.
Councillor
Mulholland the second, if she'd like to. Yeah. So it's been moved and seconded, and I'll ask Linda to introduce it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So these are the panel recommendations to make a new public trading events and filming bylaw. And I'd like to thank very much Councillor Mulholland, Councillor Henderson and IMSB member Glenn Wilcox for their participation on the panel and their wisdom. So this report presents bylaw panel recommendations on the public feedback and local board views on the proposal to make a new public trading events and filming bylaw 2022. So the proposal was developed following a proper statutory bylaw review process, and it replaces the Trading and Events in Public Places Bylaw 2015, which expires next year. So the proposal sought to continue to regulate trading, event and filming activities to help minimise public safety risks, public nuisance and the misuse of council-controlled public places. So back in 27th of May, the governing body adopted the statement of proposal, and that went out to the public through several means: newspapers, Our Auckland and the People's Panel. It was promoted on social media, Screen Auckland networks to including the Film Auckland and New Zealand Advertising Producers Group, which has 730 individuals and 1,700 followers. We had in-person and virtual presentations to the advisory panels and business improvement districts, and over 1,000 email notifications to industry stakeholders, etc. So public organisations, local boards had the opportunity to provide feedback in a variety of ways. And we had 78 people and organisations provide feedback. All 4 proposals received majority support, and you'll see the numbers there in the report. I won't repeat that. The panel deliberated and made recommendations on the public feedback and local board views on the 20th of October. So our recommendations are summarised in attachment A, but generally the recommendations support the intent of the proposal, recommend changes in response to matters including adding reference to other rules about filming and sale of alcohol, tobacco and weapons, extending the default duration of an approval to 24 months, currently 12 months unless otherwise specified. I understand that's that's actually for the mobility licenses, mobility devices, and clarifying which activities require an approval or not, including to exempt permanent art installations and filming of private celebration or event, current affairs and news, and to clarify that some commercial activities such as delivery of goods and outdoor fitness classes are generally not considered to be trading. So we ask that the governing body approve the panel recommendations and adopt the new public trading events and filming bylaw. And so I'll now, I think, pass over to Paul Wilson and Magda Findlick and Sam Bunch if they have any, need to say anything else and address any questions from the governing body members.
Thank you, Linda. Paul, anything or your team would like to add to that?
Nothing further to add, Your Worship.
Yep, I think that's quite straightforward. So look, first of all, I'll ask if there's any questions on this. I want to acknowledge and thank the team, including Glenn, for their work on it. If there are no questions, are there any comments that anybody would like to make? There are no questions or comments, so I'll...
Sorry, Your Worship.
Sorry, Alf,
Sorry,
Councillor Alf.
Your Worship, I just put in there when you said any questions, yes, please, and I didn't want to hold up my hand just in case you tell me to go to the loo. So, but Your Worship, I just got one part for Paul, and it's in regards to the item we're on around filming bylaw. Has this got any effect on the Tupuna Maunga Authority and what they're doing around filming on our maunga? Paul, please.
Thank you, through Your Worship, and I'll give Magda an opportunity to correct me if I get this wrong. No, it doesn't. The bylaw specifically only regulates land that is under the control of Auckland Council, and that does not include the maunga. They have authority to determine their own rules around filming and many other things around trading and events.
Copy. And in regards to this bylaw, sorry, Your Worship, just in regards to this bylaw, was there any sort of at least consultation with around the bylaw with Tupuna Maunga Authority, so then our bylaw is not out of kilter with what the Tupuna Maunga are doing, even though they have authority over the maunga?
Yeah, I'll hand over to Magda, who can outline the consultation that was undertaken. Thank you, Magda.
Through the chair, so there was no specific consultation with Tupuna because they are not a part of the defined council-controlled public place. However, during the initial engagement, we have looked at all the policies also that Tupuna has got on filming and make sure that there is a proper alignment between what council does and what Tupuna currently has got in place.
Copy. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Filipaina. Deputy Mayor Cashmore, question.
Yes, thanks, Linda, and thanks, Paul. My question is really about enabling of film work to carry on and not be hindered by an excessive bureaucracy. So perhaps Linda or Paul, was that any part of this discussion about making sure that that the film industry is not hampered unnecessarily?
I'll just answer it as the people that had the discussion, but Paul might be able to add that there's almost a separate process around landowner approvals, which the bylaw can't address. But we did discuss this because we're very mindful of the economic benefits to the Auckland region of the film industry. But we had a full discussion. However, we don't, there's under the Local Government Act, I think we need Paul to explain that, but basically there's landowner approvals to be had in regional parks. Staff manage that, and for some local boards get staff to manage that, and some local boards deal with their own applications. But maybe Paul needs to explain that a little bit better than I can.
Thank you, through Your Worship. What the bylaw did was to continue the existing enabling framework. There's a lot of opportunities to potentially streamline the process, which is mainly governed under the Auckland Film Protocol, and this bylaw would continue to enable that to happen.
Thank you, Paul. There are no other questions or comments. I'd like to thank Councillors Cooper, Mulholland, Henderson and IMSB member Wilcox for their work on that, and our officers, of course. These things involve quite a long process and a lot of work, so really appreciate that you handle it so competently and smoothly. So I'll put the recommendations of essentially to approve the bylaws and adopt the new bylaw, revoke the old, distribute to local boards, and delegate authority to the chief through the chief executive if there's any changes needed. So I'll put that motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
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 To the contrary, no. I declare that carried. We come now to item number 11. Again, in the regulatory sphere, it's the decision on the proposed amendment to animal management bylaw.